Imagine it's -5 degrees Celsius, the wind is howling, everything is frozen, yet you are warm, comfortable, and you're even actually having a bit of fun. Sounds impossible, right? Well, think again. Today, I'm unveiling a foolproof layering system perfected over 30 years of hiking. This is a system that keeps you warm, dry, and comfortable, whatever the weather throws at you. Hi, I'm Mauser, and after decades of hiking through Tasmania's wild weather and icy alpine peaks, I have honed a system that truly works. By the end of this video, you'll master my proven 4-layer system, discover the gear that I trust, and learn practical tips to adjust your layers effortlessly. But first, let's break it down layer by layer, starting with the foundation. Your base layer, the one closest to your skin and arguably the most important piece for staying dry and warm. The base layer, your second skin. The base layer is the solid foundation of your layering system. It's responsible for wicking moisture away from the skin, keeping you dry and warm. My go-to is the Patagonia Capilene Thermal Weight Thermals for the top and for the bottom. I've had mine for 7 years and they are still going strong even after all this time and having been on many trips. But when I really need to dial up the performance, especially in colder or high intensity conditions, I turn to Norwegian company Brunje for their mesh system. I think it's Brunje. I think that's how you say it. I'm terrible with pronunciations. Anyway, I digress. I use the Brunje mesh singlet along for winter trips with their super thermo mesh top for when things get really cold. Why the mesh? Brunje's unique open weave design creates air pockets that trap warm air next to your skin, and this forms an uninterrupted little insulating layer in itself. Now at the same time, the mesh, the little fat fabric, is wicking away moisture and allowing excess heat to escape, and this dual action makes it perfect for both high intensity activities and resting in colder conditions. The Brunje mesh was actually developed with inspiration from hiking armor, like not hiking armor, that's what I'm talking about. I mean Viking armor. You know, Norway, you think Vikings. Well, that's what gave the Brunje its name, like the chainmail stuff, I think. Anyway, it was developed from Viking armor, and Brunje's super thermo mesh, the one I was just talking about, is used by polar explorers, it's used by the Norwegian armed forces and outdoor enthusiasts all over the world. And it's been proven to perform in even the harshest environments, from Arctic expeditions to big alpine peaks. Some of the key features of Brunje include its high wicking and quick drying properties. So virtually no moisture is retained in the fabric, so you stay dry even during intense exertion. It is lightweight and durable. It packs down small, but it is meant to last for years with the proper care. It is also odor resistant and is perfect for multi-day trips where washing isn't an option. It also has minimal contact points with the skin. The mesh design ensures that it doesn't cling to your body, reducing the risk of overheating or discomfort. I have taken my 2 Brunje items on a 1-week-long winter trip so far, and they performed really well. Apart from when I put on the thermo mesh long sleeve, I don't think I took off the singlet, the mesh singlet, at all during the week. But there are also alternative options. If you prefer natural materials, you can try merino wool, and Brunje do make a merino equivalent as well. Merino is odor resistant and feels amazing, but it is a bit heavier and can be a little bit less durable than synthetic materials, which I prefer. And just a quick tip, I tend to always look for thumb loops and zip necks in my base layers. It just means I can regulate the airflow and prevent gaps around the wrists as well. It's these sort of small details when you are layering when it's cold that make a big difference. So now you've got a solid foundation, but staying warm isn't just about keeping dry, it's about adding insulation without turning into a sweaty mess along the way. That's where the mid layer comes in. The mid layer, the workhorse. So if your base layer is your foundation, well, your mid layer is the thermostat of your layering system. It's the gear that regulates your body temperature, trapping heat when you need it and releasing excess warmth when you're on the move. For me, that thermostat is the North Face Future Fleece hoodie, and it's been a game changer for me over the past 12 months. But let me take you back. For years, my go-to mid layer was the Patagonia R1 half zip fleece hoodie. It was a trusty companion on multi-day treks, lightweight, warm, and very durable. But like all good gear, fleece technology evolves. When I tried the Future Fleece, I realized it offered a similar level of warmth with better efficiency. It's lighter, it packs down smaller, and it dries faster. And these are key features when you are hiking in Tasmania's notoriously damp southwest regions. Why the switch? Well, the Future Fleece has an innovative grid-like sort of fabric that isn't just about warmth, it's about working smarter. So the design ensures you've got an incredibly breathable fabric, so it performs equally well when I'm pushing hard uphill or just sitting around at camp. It's very much like the Alpha fleeces you see these days, but it's just got that little bit better durability, I think. And this adaptability makes it a standout in my current kit. It is slightly lighter than the Patagonia R1, which has allowed me to add in the Brungi mesh layer without really adding any weight to my system at all. And a little extra tip, look for fleeces as well with those thumb loops and with a hood. These features are more than just gimmicks. A hood adds extra warmth around your head and your neck. And while thumb loops keep your wrists covered when you're layering up or reaching out for gear, especially on my base layer, I love having a thumb loop when I'm putting on this mid layer over the top because it doesn't ride up my arm, it stays in place. It's perfect. I've also found with the North Face Future Fleece hoodie, it is quite a mouthful, that it is great to wear this when it's clear skies and a cool breeze. I can put the hoodie on for sun protection while not cooling off too much in the wind, and I don't overheat as well. Why fleece is essential. Think of fleece as your set it and forget it layer. It's incredibly versatile. It's warm enough to be a standalone layer in mild conditions and an efficient insulator when paired with a shell. Fleece resists absorbing water, so it's hydrophobic because it doesn't like water, and this means it'll keep you warm even if it gets wet because it doesn't absorb as much water, you know what I mean? And this makes it perfect for the unpredictable weather and the high intensity exertion of outdoor activities and adventures and activities. How does this apply to you? When choosing a mid layer, think about your needs. Are you someone who runs a little bit hot when you're out in the trail? Or do you tend to feel the cold as soon as you stop? Advanced fleeces like the Future Fleece excel at balancing warmth and breathability, but even a standard fleece jacket can do the job if you're just starting out. And how do I use my fleece? Well, on really chilly mornings, I throw my Future Fleece on over my Capilene base layer or even just straight on over my mesh singlet. It's warm enough to take the edge off the cold without overheating as I get moving. Then once I have warmed up, it is easy to shed and stuff in my pack thanks to its compressibility. Earlier in the year on a 9-day trip, I often found myself employing this starting strategy because it was really cold in the morning. I could keep the fleece on for well over an hour and not get overheated. Then at camp, it is also the perfect layer to throw on while you're cooking dinner or you're just sitting around and you don't want the puffy jacket or anything on like that as yet. And when it does cool off when I'm sitting around camp, then I'll pair it with a down or a synthetic insulation layer for ultimate comfort on freezing nights. Budget-friendly alternatives. And if you're not ready to splurge on advanced fleece tech, what are your options? Well, a classic polar fleece jacket still does a fantastic job. Check out secondhand stores or budget outdoor brands for affordable options. The key is to finding one that fits snugly. Too loose and you'll lose the insulating benefit. Too tight and it will restrict your movement or cause overheating. But while your mid layer does a great job of regulating heat during active movement, there are times when you need a serious boost of warmth, especially when the temperature drops dramatically and you're taking a break or you're just sitting around at camp. That's where the insulation layer steps right in. The insulation layer, your warmth engine. Now, here's where the magic happens. I think that's what they say. The insulation layer is your primary defense against the cold, especially when well, it's not your primary defense because that's your base layer, then your mid layer. It's your tertiary defense. It's your last line of, well, it's not your last line either. It's a very good line of defense anyway, especially when you are stationary at camp or tackling sub-zero conditions. Its job is simple yet critical. Trap heat and keep it close to your body. Now, depending on the conditions I'm heading into, I currently rotate between 3 jackets. My first is the Arc'teryx Atom AR hoodie. It is my go-to for all-around warmth, especially in damp or unpredictable conditions. The synthetic insulation performs exceptionally well in wet climates and it maintains its insulating properties even when it's damp. And that is a must for hiking in Tasmania's notorious rain. Next, I've got my Norröna Falketind down jacket, and this is a powerhouse for extreme cold, or extreme cold by Tasmanian standards. I know you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, it's just a whole different story, but down here, it's very good. Now, the down fill in this one provides unbeatable warmth to weight ratio, making it just ideal for freezing alpine environments where moisture is less of a concern. But the thing I love about the Nerona Falcatind jacket, or is it Falcatind? I think it's Falcatind, is that it's got a combination of synthetic and down. So it's sort of, I tend to like taking that now on a lot of trips where I'm going to get a little bit of rain maybe, but not too much rain. I just love that jacket, that's all. And thirdly, I've got my Arc'teryx Nuclei jacket, and this one's perfect for lighter, drier conditions. It's incredibly lightweight and packable, and it makes a great choice when you don't need the bulk of heavier insulation. So this will come with me on summer trips. It will come with me when I travel quite a bit, and it's a good jacket for that type of thing. Now, some people might say, why not just use down all the time? Now, down is unbeatable for warmth, but it comes with a major flaw. Once wet, it does lose nearly all of its insulating power. And obviously it's getting better these days. They're putting water repellency treatments and stuff on them, but synthetic, I think, still trumps it when wet. So that's why synthetic insulation is king in wet climates like here in Tasmania. Even if rain does sneak through your outer shell, synthetic materials like those in the Atom AR will keep you warm. And that makes them a lifesaver when the weather turns against you. Now, like I said, I do like the Nerona Falcatind for this too, because it combines down and synthetic components, providing a bit of diversity, and it's probably my all-around favorite jacket currently, I'd say. Don't forget your legs. Now, it's very easy to focus on your upper body and forget about your legs, but they need insulating too, especially when you are resting around a camp. I pack the Montane prison pants for this purpose. They're synthetic, they're lightweight, and they pack down quite small, making them very easy to carry. And I've been using my Montane prison pants for around 5 years. These pants are ideal for staying warm during downtime, but they're also versatile enough that you could wear them while walking if the temperatures dropped enough that you needed to be wearing pants. I'm a shorts guy, but if I had to, I could wear these pants. And in terms of tips, well, here's another little budget tip. If you're not ready to invest in these high-end insulated jackets, because they can get expensive, a thick polar fleece jacket or a second fleece or wool layer can double as your insulation layer as well. I relied on a very heavy fleece jacket for well over a decade when I started hiking, and that combined with a long sleeve fleece shirt was my go-to combo on all those hikes back in those days. It was bulkier, it was heavier than the synthetic or the down options, but it was so much more affordable and did a solid job of trapping heat. For those just starting out, it is a practical way to stay warm without blowing your budget. And here is another tip. When choosing your insulation layer, consider how you'll be using it. For resting or low activity periods, warmth and loft are key. For active hiking, look for lightweight, breathable options that won't overheat. And if you're in a wet climate, then always prioritize synthetic materials for their ability to insulate even when damp. And if you're on the fence about specific pieces of gear, research thoroughly and keep an eye out for my future gear reviews. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button just down below there to stay updated. Okay, we've got warmth covered. Now let's focus on protection. After all, even the best insulation won't help you if it's soaked through. And that's where your outer shell comes in. Outer shell, your weather shield. The outer shell is your ultimate line of defense. Your shield against the wind, the rain, and whatever else that nature decides to throw your way. Now, for the last 6 or 7 years, my go-to jacket has been the Arc'teryx Beta AR jacket, and I've talked about that on other videos. It is a bomber shell that has stood up to torrential rain, relentless wind, and the harsh abuse of bush bashing through Tasmania's unforgiving scrub. However, gear evolves and not always for the better. The Beta AR's design has recently changed a little, and reports suggest that it may not be as durable as it was before. And I did check it out in store recently, had a good touch of the fabric and a feel, and definitely feels different to my older jacket. It feels like a slightly thinner fabric. I think it is a thinner denier fabric, and maybe not as durable as the one I use now. So recently a company called Kotazu, I think from the Netherlands, sent me out their jacket to try, and while no money changed hands, I've started testing the Kotazu AR hard shell, and I have to say it is pretty impressive. It's waterproof, and it has a 20,000 millimeter rating. It's made from 100% recycled premium fabrics, and it's pretty reasonably priced too, I've got to say. Now, while the Beta AR boasts a higher 28,000 millimeter of water rating, meaning it can handle even more extreme wet conditions, the Kotazu has held up really well so far in wet and windy environments. Now, time will tell how it handles the long-term wear and tear that I'm definitely going to subject it to, but it's shaping up already to be a strong contender in my kit. So again, subscribe if you want to see a future review on that jacket. How to choose the right jacket for you. When selecting your outer shell, the key is to think about your specific needs. Will you be hiking in dense scrub or on nice open trails? You'll need something tough enough to withstand abrasions if it's the former. Are you expecting torrential rain or occasional showers? For a prolonged heavy rain, opt for a jacket with a higher waterproof rating like the Beta AR's 28,000mm. For moderate conditions, a 20,000mm is going to be plenty, and even that is rated to sort of heavier conditions. Will you be active or stationary? Breathability and ventilation are crucial if you're working hard on the trail. Always read reviews and user feedback, and whenever possible, try on a jacket to ensure that it fits your body and your body shape and your intended layering system. I always when I try a jacket on, I sort of have a look at how it fits, and I'll even put a nice warm jacket or two on underneath to see that I've still got plenty of room to move. Don't forget your legs. Now, your legs are just as vulnerable to the elements as your upper body when it gets crazy. For rugged conditions, I do rely on the Arc'teryx Beta AR pants, which match the durability and waterproofing of my older model jacket. But, and it's a very big but, you need to take your boots off to get these pants on, which is completely unacceptable in my books. When you can get them on, these pants excel in scrubby, wet terrain where toughness is essential. My main pants lately though are the Patagonia Torrent Shell pants. They're lighter and more packable, making them ideal for multi-day hikes where weight is a priority. They have also stood up very well to some big trips over the last couple of years and are still going strong. And another excellent middle ground option is the Australian brand, the Mont Austral pants, which balance durability with breathability and perform well in varieties of conditions that I've subjected them to. And if you want just something that's going to last forever, the Australs, you really can't go wrong with them. And here's a tip. When you're looking for pants, look for ones with a full or a 3/4 length zip. These allow you to quickly put them on over your boots, over your gaiters, without needing to remove your footwear, and this is an invaluable feature when the rain really starts. What to look for in shell wear? When choosing shell layers, there are 3 features to prioritise. Firstly, waterproofing. Look for Gore-Tex or a similar breathable membrane with sealed seams. A higher waterproof rating, generally 20,000mm or more, is ideal for heavy rain or wet climates. Look for ventilation. Pit zips, underarm vents and leg zippers are non-negotiable. Now, while all these companies advertise the breathability of their jackets and pants, the fact is that they just do not breathe when it starts raining. They don't breathe when it's raining, when they get wet. Ensuring you have features like pit zips that will let you dump heat without compromising waterproofing will help keep you comfortable during those high intensity activities. Your shell should be roomy enough to fit over all your layers, but not so loose that it flaps about in the wind. So check for things like adjustable hoods, cuffs, and hems to fine-tune the fit and prevent drafts or rain from sneaking in. The bottom line, your outer shell isn't just about staying dry, it's about staying comfortable and protected so you can enjoy your hike no matter the conditions. If you're on the fence about a specific jacket or pants, then take the time to research thoroughly and consider the environment and activities you'll be using them for. The right shell can make all the difference between a miserable trek and a memorable adventure. And if you're new to hiking or you want to refine your skills, then check out my new book, The Ultimate Beginner's Hiking Guide. It's packed with practical advice, gear tips, and step-by-step guidance to help you feel confident and prepared for your adventures. It's available now for purchase, and you can grab your copy at the link in the description below. Key tips for layering on the trail. Getting your layering system right isn't just about the gear, it's also about how you use it. Here are a few strategies to maximize comfort and performance. Be bold, start cold. Begin your hike slightly chilly. You'll warm up quickly as you move, and starting cold helps prevent sweat from soaking your layers. Master ventilation. Use zippers, pit vents, and layer adjustments to manage heat before you start sweating. Staying dry is the key to staying warm. Practice layering at home. Get comfortable adding and removing layers quickly. It is better to stop and adjust your gear than to push through discomfort, which can lead to overheating or chilling later. And if you want to dive deeper into staying dry on the trail, then check out this video up here where I go into it even further.